Do you have a brutal inner critic tracking every single parenting mistake you make, whispering that you've already ruined your kids? When your household is in a storm, that voice acts like a heavy lead weight, dragging you under. Welcome to the Parenting Heroes Path. I'm Kent, and this is Amy.
And it's time to correct that inner critic right now. Your kids desperately need you to be their steady anchor, and you can't be that rock for them if you are suffocating in shame.
We had massive expectations for our kids when they were growing up. This is for our older kids. And as I saw each one of those kids, I saw their genius and their talents, their gifts. And I felt like the way for me to fulfill my duty as a parent was to expect them to be perfect. And so that's what I did. And
I did the same. We both did it.
And then realized afterwards that, that was awful. We pushed them away. We caused them to distance themselves from us, from truth, from that very potential that we saw in them. And so that created so much shame in me, and still to this day is one of my biggest regrets as a parent.
Yeah.
Those mistakes that we made.
Yeah, and so it's like we're gonna make mistakes as a parent, but in this case, it was like we realized that it wasn't a right way to parent, and that was good to realize that. But then where we went after that was like, oh my goodness, we ruined them. It's our fault. We have completely blown it. We are failures. And go from this place of, I want to change, to I'm terrible. And then it's like this downward, and that's where you get into that shame.
Yeah.
And that was a bad place to be. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're stuck in a constant cycle of guilt, terrified that you've already failed your kids, hit subscribe and hang with us. We're going to share the framework that silenced our inner critic and made parenting doable again. Because we want to move from that paralyzing shame into real authority, so you can guide your kids through the storms that life is going to bring them.
Yeah. Here's the thing. You cannot rescue your drowning child if you are drowning in shame yourself. When your child sparks a conflict, if you become triggered, your reaction will turn that tiny spark into a massive wildfire. Today, we're sharing the protocol to silence those triggers instantly so you can reclaim your calm authority.
So the first step is to stop finding fault with yourself.
Wait, what? Yeah?
Yeah. So that's not to mean that we see ourselves as perfect. We are going to still see that we make mistakes, but we're not going to focus on those. Mm-hmm. We are going to recognize that mistakes are a part of life, and we're not going to be searching for those mistakes. They're going to pop up.
Yeah.
We're going to see them.
The good book says, "Judge not, that you be not judged," and it applies to our own selves.
Yeah.
We want to allow some grace, and so if we can step away from that place of picking ourselves apart.
Yeah. So where's the line between seeing that wasn't good, because I'm so glad that we realized that wasn't a good way to parent with the high expectations. Otherwise we'd still be there. We'd still be parenting that way. And so it's really important to see when we make those mistakes, but how do we not go to the shame with them? What is this step about with not seeing that deep fault? What is that? Could you explain that better to me? Because I get stuck in that.
When we see those things that can be better, we just say, "Oh, I'm so glad that God is giving me this opportunity to change, to step up, to do something different."
Yeah.
And so when those opportunities come, when you learn new principles, new tools, new things, it's not fair to judge our past by what we know today.
Okay.
Right? And so letting that grace in, allowing that grace for ourselves means that we take on full-heartedly that we were doing the best that we knew how in the moment, at that point in time. Today, we're learning something new, and we're going to put that into practice, and we thank God for the opportunity.
Right.
And we don't spend all day beating ourselves up for what we didn't know before.
Right. So we can see that it wasn't the best method and make a change.
Yeah.
Feel like we have the strength to make the change. It's okay to make a change. And it's, as you were talking, I was thinking it's not condemning ourselves.
Right.
It's like you can make a mistake without being like, how could we?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Right. So the next part of this, then, step 2, is to unmask the enemy. So when we're in this place where change is on the table, and we've recognized that there's something that can be done differently, that is a prime moment for the adversary to jump on top of that and say, look,
You blew it.
You blew it. You did.
Yeah.
You should have known better. You did know better. You could have, right? All the shoulda, coulda, wouldas.
How could you?
How could you?
You're the worst parent.
And
all the things.
And so if we can recognize that pattern and know up front that the adversary is going to attack us in these moments when we're trying to become better.
Yeah.
Right? It's super crazy because we're trying to become better, and that's the exact moment in this trying to do better, to change, that he'll jump on there and say, "Whoo, buddy, you blew it." And so we have to be really strong, and this is where the next step comes in on what we can do to keep us from letting the adversary tear us back down.
Yeah. Well, and I think one of the other things the adversary does is when it's like, you blew it, and why do you think it's going to be better the next time? Why is this new method, this new technique going to be any better? You stink as a parent. It's you are terrible. It's just that I don't think the adversary ever wants us to believe that change or improvement can happen.
Yep.
No, just failure.
Yep.
So this next step is one of our favorites. It is a fun one, and we want you to think of the 3 F's. This is the pattern interrupter with these 3 F's that is going to help you. So the first one of this step 3. So there's 3 F's. The first is you flip the lie. So when you hear that lie in your head, maybe the lie is
you can't. Well, you just said all those things you just said.
Yeah, you can't change. You're a failure. Any of those things, you flip it. We can change. We can start over again. Even if a week into your new method where you're trying to not have these too high expectations, you find yourself going back to your normal pattern. That's going to happen. That's part of life. And instead of believing this lie that I can't change, I'm going to flip it and say, hey, we can change.
Right. So we flip the lie and we actually say the words. We can say them in our mind, or we can say them out loud to each other.
Awesome.
Just say them out loud to hear our own voice giving us new marching orders.
Like what?
I can change.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm good enough. I'm a good parent.
Yeah.
God's got me. God trusts me with these children.
Yeah. Yeah. Those opposite things.
Yep.
Love that. Okay. The second F is fabulous you. Fabulous me. You think of a fun physical trait of your own, and you just talk about some of your greatness. One of my, the one that I often go to is my great elbows. Fantastic elbows. It just makes me laugh when I think about that, but not as much as Kent's.
Mine's maybe better. I have buns of steel. So I'm a cyclist. I ride bikes, and so my butt's sore a lot of time, or it hurts, and I feel it. And that's something fabulous about me. And so when I say that, it's that pattern interrupt that gets us to giggle.
Yes, it doesn't
Right?
even matter.
It doesn't even matter. It breaks that energy from the adversary and from that inner critic that says, bah, 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 and gets us to get into this place of, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What we had a friend was telling us the other day, she was on a training, and the coach on that training said, just think and say out loud, I am a sexy mom. It's really just thinking something great about your physical presence. It brings you into the present because this is you. You have goodness. You have some great physical traits, and just pick one and be happy about it.
So something fabulous about you. Have fun with it.
Yeah.
Find something beforehand and have it ready.
Right. So you're ready.
Yep.
And something that, it's going to feel good to you.
And then this third one in the 3 F's is to free yourself from captivity. When we accept those lies, when we forget what our true identity is, we become enslaved by those lies, by the adversary. And so to free ourselves from that captivity, we want to remember the higher truth of who we are. What is God's truth about me? What is God's truth about you? Who are you? Does God trust you with these children? Yes, he does. Has God called you by divine assignment to be their parent? Yes, he has. Those are the things that you remember in this moment of freeing yourself from that captivity. Yeah. So that's the third F, is to go back to the truth of who you are, and you hold on to that, and you again say it out loud. I am God's deeply beloved, trusted son. That's who I am. That is my core identity statement. And so I will go back to that over and over again. And you pick something for you that helps you remember the truth of who you are, who you truly, really, divinely are. And that's this third F that we're going to use.
Yeah. Love it. So powerful. And these are some of the things that helped us. They were the key steps that helped us get out of that shame cycle, specifically when we realized we had these crazy expectations, but also in multiple times on a regular basis, we make mistakes and we realize that we're not making the best choices. But when we follow these steps, we can remember we can change, and it's okay. We don't have to go into that shame cycle.
Yeah.
Or when you find yourself already in the shame cycle, this can help kick you out. Either way.
Yep. The 3 F's are so fun for that. What you want to remember is that defeating your inner critic isn't just about feeling better about yourself. It's about having the capacity to hold boundaries. It's about the capacity to be still when your child is not. It's about having the ability to connect regardless of the storm happening in your home, so that your child feels heard and understood no matter what. When you silence those lies and declare the higher truth of who you actually are, you stop throwing gasoline on the fire, and you become the steady anchor that your family needs to survive every storm, no matter what.
And when we silence that shame, then we can step into who God has called us to be.
Yeah.
If you are in the middle of a family storm right now, you don't have to navigate this alone. Click the link below to join our free Parenting Heroes community. It's awesome. It's a space to connect with other parents who are on the exact same path, trading shame for hope and learning to lead their families with calm confidence. We'll see you inside.